Hi everyone, my name's Melissa and this is How to Adult. Today's video is part 4 of 101 money saving tips. If you haven't seen part 1, 2 and 3, click up here or check in the description below and I'll add some links. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and don't forget to write your best bad joke in the comments below. And with that, let's get started. Tip 48 is quality over quantity. Now, it is very tempting to buy cheaper items that have 1 or 2 uses for them instead of buying a more expensive item that has a number of uses for it. For example, if you want to have a slow cooker and a pressure cooker, it may be cheaper to get a multi-cooker instead of just buying those 1 or 2 or 3 items separately. Now, this is only if you intend to and will actually use those other tasks that the object can perform. It is sometimes cheaper to pay more in order to save by buying less. Now, it also works the other way as well. If you want a very simple product that does one task, such as an iron, for example, you don't need all the bells and whistles. Something cheap can be perfectly suitable. My husband and I got a gift of an air popcorn maker. I think it was from like Kmart or Big W or something, and it was probably like $20–30 if that. And we've had this for years and it still works wonderfully. So there's nothing wrong with some of the cheaper items as well, but you just need to think about what's going to help you in the long run. Tip 49 is renting versus buying. Now, I understand that when it comes to housing, renting when you're younger is obviously basically the only option that's available to you. Now, I want to make it very clear that while buying a house versus renting a house is the obviously better option, I'm not just talking about houses here. I'm also talking about cars, furniture, appliances, equipment such as your computer, etc. A lot of people will rent these items because they can't afford it, but what happens is you actually end up spending a lot more renting the item than you would just buying the item outright. Leasing a car, for example, is to me a huge waste of time. I paid a little extra on my car that I had budgeted for, but that's because I know it's going to last me hopefully at least 20 years. If not, then it's fine for 10 years at least. And I picked a car where the parts are easily replaceable. So to me, leasing out a car for a couple of years and then swapping it for a fancier car is ridiculous. You only need a car to get from A and B and to be reliable. And buying a car as opposed to leasing it is much better. Same with furniture and all that other stuff. If you can avoid renting, don't. Tip number 50 is a little bit more challenging. It's a lot more challenging, and it's basically to make your home and yourself as self-sufficient as possible. A perfect example I can give you, you've heard me complain about my $1,300 electricity bill that I got last year. I actually was saving up money for solar panels and I've put them in, and we haven't had to pay for an electricity bill since. It's brilliant. Now, I am in an area where solar panels is really excellent for where I live, but you also need to think about the fact that solar panels don't necessarily need to have a lot of sunshine. I mean, it's pouring with rain today, and I could probably get up my solar panel website and it will tell me that I'm still using less electricity than what the solar panels are bringing in. So it's definitely worth it to think about how you can make your home more self-sufficient. It's the same with rainwater. If you can get a little tank and collect rainwater, you can use that to water your garden, and that saves you on your water bill. And as an Aussie, obviously, we're going to get droughts every now and then, so it's a good investment. You need to think long term as opposed to short term. But becoming as self-sufficient as possible can save you a ton of money in the long run. Tip 51 is to make small changes to your home to make it a bit more reliable and comfortable, which does save you money in the long run as well. For example, if you get a bidet, then you spend less money on toilet paper. If you seal up your windows to make sure there's no gaps to have the airflow, then you spend less money on your heating and cooling. And if you get a fan, for example, a ceiling fan is what we've got in our lounge room, and it's been a wonderful addition to our home, and we can use less electricity having the air conditioner on, plus multiple fans to try and blow the air into the lounge room instead. So sometimes it's better to spend the money in order to save the money. Tip 52 is buy a lemon tree. Now this might seem really odd, but if you like lemons, they are a fantastic tree to grow. If you don't own your own home, you can also grow them in pots. I'm going to put a link in the description below to Self-Sufficient Me, which is a channel in YouTube, and Mark has been doing gardening for years as far as I can tell, and he's wonderful. I obviously haven't met him, I'm not in his area, I think he's in like Queensland or something, but he knows his stuff. He explains it in a way that is very easy to follow, and quite frankly I like his humour as well. He's a bit of a cheeky bugger, but aren't we all? Now the reason why I suggest you get a lemon tree is because lemons have multiple uses. You can use it with cleaning, with cooking, and you can even make lemonade out of it. And the best thing about lemons is a lot of people enjoy them, so they may be willing to trade or buy them from you, and you can make lemonade and sell lemonade, and you don't have to be on a little desk in the front of your house with backwards writing. So give it a go. I mean, if you don't like it, then don't do it, but sometimes it can be a lot of fun. Tip 53 is a very easy one. Swap your lights for LED lights. LEDs are better for the environment, and they're cheaper too because they don't use a lot of electricity. So go and check whether or not you can swap your lights for LEDs, and you might find that you save a decent amount of money. Tip 54 is buy a chest freezer. Chest freezer is a fantastic investment, particularly if you're going to be doing bulk cooking. Now, I am a little bit of a food hoarder because I've gone hungry one too many times when I was younger. As you can see, I've overcompensated for that, but having meals put away in a chest freezer that can last months can be a real safety thing as well. I mean, if your power goes out for a few days or a few weeks, yes, your freezer is going to start to defrost, but it will hold your meals as cool as possible for as long as possible, and you will have food there with you to eat. So just consider it, and even if it's not for safety, it is a very handy piece of equipment you can have. Tip 55 is pay off your loans as quickly as possible. Now I know I've mentioned this a little bit in previous videos, but it is a perfect example about how spending more money actually saves you money in the long run. Now my mortgage is about between $500 and $600 a fortnight. We pay between $700 and $800 a fortnight. So our loan will be paid off 10 years earlier at least, and we'll be saving like $27,000 in interest, and that's with our mortgage. But it also works with any of your other loans, such as like your credit card or your personal loans. The faster you pay that off, while you will be paying more money at that time, it saves you a decent amount of money in the long term. So go and do that. Tip number 56 is to think about your future. Now by this I don't necessarily mean choosing a multiple use product over a single use, or even paying off your loans early in order to save in that interest. When I say think about the future, I'm also including the bigger picture. You need to think about what you want for your future. You need to ask yourself, where am I going to be in 5 years? What do I want to achieve? What are my dreams? How am I going to get there? These are things that you need to consider, because your finances are obviously going to help or hinder you achieve those goals. Now, nothing is impossible within reason, but getting a head start on your finances gives you a huge lead. So stop, think about what it is that you want and see what it's going to cost to get you there. Tip 57 is have some fun money. Now, I know this sounds a little counterproductive, but if you have some fun in money, then you're less likely to overspend or blow your budget accidentally. And it's more than that. I mean, you deserve to have a little break every now and then. And life is about living, not about numbers. So put a little bit of money aside that's just for your fun, with no guilt whatsoever. Now, today's joke is this. Have you heard the joke about paper? Never mind, it's terrible. Now, I love a good pun. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to write your best bad joke in the comments below, and I might pick yours for the next one. Also, don't forget I'm on TikTok now too, and I'm a little bit more silly, honestly. So go check it out, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye.